Hello, my name is Mothe, and I'm here with my show at New Zone Gallery, 110 11th Avenue in Eugene, Oregon. And the name of the show is One Woman's View. And it's what I've been doing presently, which is more abstract painting, but I've been doing art my whole life. And I started out as a child, of course, doing art classes and such. So it was a variety. Then I studied at the University of Oregon. I studied art education, and the beauty of that was that I got to take many studio classes, all kinds of classes, jewelry, sculpture, printmaking, painting. I just got, a whole gamut of a lot of the art world. And my experience was mixed. I enjoyed the classes, but I didn't want to continue going to school. It was the early 70s, and my goal was to go out and do art and have adventures and probably be a hippie, although that wasn't exactly what I had in mind in my words, but that's what happened. I lived in Minneapolis for 7 years. I came back to Eugene, Oregon. I then lived in Massachusetts for a couple years. I lived in Portland, Oregon, and finally moved back to Eugene, which is my home, 1994. I also did quite a bit of traveling, and I got the opportunity after college to go to Europe and visit many of the fine museums in Europe and architecture. And that was really impactful on me. What I noticed was there were very few women artists displayed, and that had an impact on me in my early feminism. And I thought, okay, I'm going to go back and paint and be an artist. And I was inspired a lot by Judy Chicago and Georgia O'Keeffe. And they were, the prominent, well-known artists of my time. And I continued to study art history, and just this last, maybe 3 years ago, I got the opportunity to go see the Women's Art Museum in Washington, D.C., and that was very impactful too. I'm hoping that someday some relative might get a piece of my work in a museum. I came back, I'd like that. It could be some little podunk place, I don't care, but that's my goal. And it may not happen in this lifetime, but that's okay. I'd like to tell a little story about this painting here that I call There Is a Center. And this is a canvas that was stretched by my brother when he went to the University of Oregon in the late 60s. He also made the frame, and he painted a painting specifically, I think it was a wedding gift for two friends of ours. And they showed that painting in their home for probably 40 years. Then they moved and didn't have a place for it. So they asked me, well, would he like it back? His answer was, no, I don't want it, but you can have it. So I gessoed it, and this is what I did. And I can't tell you exactly what it means. I've been moving more into more of an abstract realm after doing more illustration and more quasi-representational work. But I know it has to do with moon, phases of the moon, and I can't really speak about exactly what it is. It's for the viewer to view it and feel whatever they feel. That's about what I'm doing these days. It's like I do have a starting place, and I paint It's not very literal. It doesn't have a lot of words. They're more about feelings or impressions or experiences. But it's really for the viewer to just stop and view, and then be aware of what feelings might be evoked, or what sense the viewer might get from a painting. So that's the story of this painting. It has the physical part of it has had a very long life. It's had several paintings on the surface, and this is my version of this painting. These two paintings here represent a new series I've started. I started with the green one, and first I was really interested in putting down some texture in a certain form, kind of a free form. I use a plaster and acrylic molding paste mix, and I can put it down in whatever way I want to, and I can do it on canvas, and it's fairly flexible so it doesn't crack with the acrylic medium in it. And so I started with that, and I did a lot of mandalas in the 80s, and I still like the round form with the center. I still like things with the center. And so in these paintings, I did the outside form first, the colors and the shapes on the outside, but I left the inside blank. And then images came to me to put into the center. And in the red one, I put an eye. I don't know why exactly. It just seemed fitting. And in the green one, I put a lotus blossom. At the time, I was also working with chakras and the colors of chakras, the energy centers up the spine of the body. And so that was part of it too. So it's not all programmed, but those were inspiration and guidance for these paintings. I have another one at home that I was not able to finish. The center hadn't come to me, so I couldn't make it up. It's got to come to me. And I may do a few more of them, I'm not sure. They're kind of fun. Sometimes when I paint, I think I might be done. Sometimes I'm not satisfied. With this particular painting, I did one summer a couple of years ago. I was kind of experimenting. I'm still exploring more abstract themes. And the heart in the center emerged, but I left a lot of white around the edges. And I was never totally satisfied with it. So when I prepared for this particular show, I dug that painting out, and I had bought some wonderful new colors, and I just had so much fun with those colors, and I emphasized the heart, and it became more complete. Sometimes paintings aren't complete. I think they are, and a couple of years later I think, well, that painting is not done, and I will go back in and finish it. That may be the beauty of not selling all my work, because I don't sell it incomplete. So I have a chance to go back in and really rework it in a way that's more satisfying to me. And that's the story of this painting. And I think I wanted to express, I know I wanted to express some inner turmoil, inner, stress, and yet find that center, that everything's okay. And that's a little bit about what this painting is. And the heart, how can you go wrong with the heart at the center? My tip for viewing my paintings is first, just view them. Don't worry about what they might mean, or you don't even have to read the label at first, but just see how they feel to you, what your experience is. Then go in, take a look at the label, and consider, well, okay, with this name, what might the artist have been expressing? And I think it's probably rare that what you think that the artist was expressing is the same as your experience. And I long ago gave up the idea that what I put into a painting is what a viewer is going to get out of it. It's not my responsibility, nor is it any of my business. I want the viewer to experience something when they view my work. And the tip is, do that, and then consider what I might have been doing. This show, One Woman's View, at New Zone Gallery, opened on February 2nd, and will be up at least until the February 25th. So New Zone Gallery is on the corner of 11th and what? Pearl. 11th and Pearl, of course. And no, it's Oak, actually. It's 11th and Oak. And we would love for you to come down and see not only my art, but we're a collective of over 60 artists. And so there's a great deal of variety and really some wonderful pieces to view. So come on down. The show will be up at least until the 25th of February. So come on down and check it out.